Shocking story coming in from Arsenal about Thomas Partey. We've been getting these stories, and on 2 occasions, I've come up here and obviously reported those stories coming in from those second tier and some first tier journalists, but not a first class transfer guru like Fabrizio Romano coming out and really throwing it into our face that Thomas Partey is going to leave Arsenal. If at all Arsenal gets a very huge offer, they are willing to cash in for Thomas Partey. Very much annoying and very much annoying to some Arsenal fans, very much exciting to Arsenal fans, and very much confusing to Arsenal fans, because there are those Arsenal fans who want Thomas Partey to stay. There are those who believe he is not the right man that is needed for the job, and there are those that really are on the fence, and they are the ones that are really discombobulated, right? Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys? And where you're watching us from, smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. 50th video of the day, and we are left with one, and I want us to be doing 7 videos on a daily. That's it. I want us to be doing 7 videos on a daily here on the Rokani Media Football. It's the transfer news show. We are talking about Nicolo Barella as Newcastle coming through to make consultation about him. Chelsea look like they are in to hijack that deal of Nicolo Barella as they are trying to make Lukaku one of the make weights of that deal. And lastly, Emily Smith was going ahead and reveal to us how long this injury that has costed him the previous season has been disturbing his career, and then he has told us when it really escalated last season, because we saw him come back in certain games, but obviously after certain games that he played, he just made something that really escalated this injury, and he had to go or to undergo a surgery under his calf. So Rokan David is my name. You can as well call me RD. Follow me on Twitter at Rokan Media FB. That is it. And don't forget to smash the like button close to 300 times and subscribe, because we want to hit 15,000 subscribers, right? Let's continue by going into the lower right bottom corner, smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell. That will enable you to get notified every time we upload a video onto this YouTube channel that does diverse sports. You know, we do Arsenal, we do Liverpool, we do everything, but we don't do Manchester United. Do you know why? United has its own independent channel. If I told you are a United supporter, or you feel like you want to see me do content of Man United, search for United Matters channel. That's where I'm always at. So let's start off with Fabrizio Romano, as he told us a very huge update about Thomas Partey. He told us that Thomas Partey could be on the move this summer. It is a possibility for Thomas Partey to leave Arsenal. I'm told that this is a very concrete. It's a concrete chance for Thomas Partey to find the solution and to leave Arsenal. That is Fabrizio Romano for you. Then he added and said, there are conversations ongoing. This is still not advanced. There is still time to look at options and then discuss with Arsenal. But Partey is a concrete name in the potential exits for Arsenal. Now, I came up here and I told you after that season, that after those games, that if we are really analytical, Thomas Partey is one of those players that led to the implode of Arsenal in those games. Because if you are a CDM of the quality of Thomas Partey and you are really world class, of which he is, and you don't really show your world classness in those games, then you are not worth to be playing for a team that is vying for the title. If a team is vying for the Champions League and 4th spot, 2nd spot, it's okay. They can leave you, and that is excusable. But what happened in the game of Liverpool, in the game of West Ham, in the game of Southampton, and in the game of Man City, those 4 consecutive games that Arsenal played, and out of 12 points, Arsenal found itself collecting only 3 and losing 9 was really inexcusable. And when Jorginho came in play, he really played a very good game. What did that do? It opened up the eyes of Mikel Arteta and the rest of the board that maybe we need a world-class midfielder. I know Partey is world-class, but he has showed us that when the team needed him most in those games, he would have gone ahead to really help it and obviously elevate the team to the next level. But he never did that. Every great player is obviously weighed his potential in such moments. Look at Rodri in the Champions League finale. See what he did. He decided that win. He decided that win, and that's what you're supposed to be doing in such games. If at all you're really a world-class player. And Thomas Partey, I like him as a person, but I've always come up on several occasions. I told you that he's a player that doesn't suit the style of play of Mikel Arteta. That's why you sort of it that when Jorginho comes in and plays in that single pivot, Arsenal is a more high possessive side. They build well from the back, right? And they really connect the midfield to the attack very, very well, because Jorginho did it very well in the game of Newcastle, one of the hardest games that everyone thought that Arsenal, having been beaten by Man City 3-1, were they 3 or 4 goals to 1? I think 3-1. They would have found themselves in a situation of imploding again away at St. James's Park, as Newcastle needed that win to confirm its Champions League slot by then. So, Thomas Partey is one of those that Arsenal want to sell off. But I really know that if they are to sell him off, they have to go all out and get in replacements early enough. That's why they wanted Declan Rice and Moise Caicedo. And it's said if Declan Rice comes in through, Granit Xhaka leaves. Then if which guy? If maybe Lavia comes in through, then Thomas Partey leaves. So it looks like Mikel Arteta is planning to build a different midfield altogether next season. But I see a lot of damage in that and a lot of danger, because I think you need Thomas Partey. You need what we call the squad depth, as we're going to be playing in the Champions League. You take off Thomas Partey and Xhaka from that midfield plus Albert Sambi Lokonga. You are left with El Nini. You are left with Jorginho, Declan Rice, and Lavia. Obviously, the number is good, but the experience is really needed. So I really understand that Arsenal really no longer believe in Thomas Partey as far as the board and Arteta are really concerned, but they have to take caution on how they are going to really do this and let this player leave, because it might cause a little bit of conflict into that Arsenal side, as they are going to really be seeing a new midfield starting the season altogether. I would like to see Arsenal keeping Partey for one season as you integrate Lavia and Lavia, Declan Rice, and Kai Havertz into that team, provided they make those 3 signings. I think that will be something exceptional for this Arsenal side, and I think Mikel Arteta should also look at that. Now, Simon Jedin has something to say about this Thomas Partey situation. He has said, Arsenal's pursuit of Declan Rice is just the first step in a planned midfield overhaul at the Emirates this summer, with Granit Xhaka and Thomas Partey both potentially leaving the club in the incoming weeks. So, in the coming weeks, we can see 2 of the 3 midfielders that played the midfield of Arsenal in one of the most successful seasons of Mikel Arteta at Arsenal, that is Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka, shown the exit door. That is what Simon Jedin is telling us. Then he concluded and said, Thomas Partey may leave Arsenal this summer, with the club understood to be willing to cash in on the player if suitable replacements can be found. Mikel Arteta and Sporting Director Edu are working to refresh the midfield in the long term. I really understand why they are doing it, because Thomas Partey is 30, Xhaka is 31, and you cannot really thrive through a midfield of people in their early third decade. So I really understand that, and they really have a point, but I think the way they phase off these midfielders should be really programmed, right? Because you might start off a season of Arsenal with Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, and Odegaard in the midfield 3, and they might fail to really link up very well. I really understand. Sorry about that. Arteta wants to be playing with a more energetic and physical specimen in the single pivot, because Declan Rice gives you a lot, he runs a lot, he's more physical, and he knows that he can really win more physical battles into that midfield of Arsenal. And he wants to turn Kai Havertz into a box-to-box midfielder and then get Odegaard to play his role of a central attacking midfielder. So let's wait and see whether that will work out for Mikel Arteta, but it's thrown to our eyes that they want to really sell Thomas Partey if at all they get the right replacements. And that means if you see Declan Rice and Lavia throwing in at Arsenal, just know that will mark the end of Thomas Partey and Xhaka at Arsenal. Now, let's go to Ekrem Konra. He has told us that Chelsea have asked Inter Milan if they would include Italian midfielder Nicolo Barella in a swap deal that would see Belgium striker Romelu Lukaku 30 make a permanent move to Italy. So, Nicolo Barella, I love the player, very good midfielder that's going to truly be wanted by Liverpool. Newcastle had gone there with £50 million and they're really turned down. Now, this is where I ask Chelsea, do you think Lukaku is more expensive than Nicolo Barella? You know? I think the only thing that you can do is tell them to get you Nicolo Barella and you add some more money onto that, because Barella is being valued at £70 million and Lukaku at the age of 30, I think he's like £30 million now, his value. So what is needed? What is needed in this deal is simple. Is Barella willing to leave Inter Milan, and is Inter Milan willing to sell Barella? Because at the look of things, I'm told Barella is an Inter boy that doesn't want to leave the club. You know, he's not going to get moved by money. Inter's playing the Champions League finale. They're going to be playing the Champions League next season. Chelsea isn't going to be playing the Champions League. So it's really so much hard for them to go ahead and really convince such a player to come in through and obviously join them. I anticipate they're really having money. But even if they're having money, that is nothing to players like Nicolo Barella. They are players who are really sold onto the idea of playing in the Champions League season in, season out, and having played the Champions League finale, it will make him feel like it's the right time and moment to really keep at Inter Milan if at all they really add more quality into that team. And Inter Milan will know that if we sell Nicolo Barella, it's really going to be so much hurting, as he's one of the pistons into that central axis of the midfield of Inter Milan that really move their vehicle into the right direction. And he's really a very good player. Box-to-box midfielder, Nicolo Barella is a revelation that you'd love to see at your club. So, for Chelsea, I think they are so much busy in the market. They missed out on Ugarte. They're in for Caicedo. They're in for Nicolas from Villarreal, you know. Now they're in for Nicolo Barella. They've consulted the agents of Vlahovic, Victor Osimhen, and so on and so forth and so much. So, but however much there's so much in the market, they have to be the second option, because if a Champions League team comes in through, it will put it all out on the table, and these players will happen to go and play into the Champions League. And that's the effect that you face when you want to sign players in the summer when you're not in the Champions League. You know, you need to be having a lot of money, or a manager that can convince these players and convince the agents of those players to come in through that. We are going to make it better next season. Now, a touching story coming in from Emily Smith-Rowe is going to reveal to us for how long he has been having this injury and what game really let this injury escalate from bad to worse. He has told us that Emily Smith-Rowe, he said, but at the start of the season, I was feeling it and felt I couldn't, I beg your pardon, but at the start of the season, I was still feeling it and felt I couldn't just keep moving injections, just keep having injections for the rest of my career. I got to Manchester United away last September and took a shot of balance, but tried to use all my power. I knew as soon as I did it, I had torn something. So that is Emily Smith-Rowe, and he really came out crying and that game was at Old Trafford, and they were beaten by 3-1 by Man United. And that's the game that really saw his injury escalate, and obviously he had to undergo surgery, but he believes he's back. He's going to be so much active into the under-21s Euro Championship. That is believed to be one of those deals or one of those tournaments that are going to see him get back to the levels that Mikel Arteta is known for playing him at Arsenal. So sorry, Emily Smith-Rowe, since the age of 19, that is 3 years ago. That injury has been disturbing him. So tell me your thoughts on Arsenal cashing in for Thomas Partey. Are you really okay with it? Yes or no? What do you make about Barella to Chelsea? You know, do you think a player who's not playing the Champions League can leave his team and go to the team that's not playing and go to the team that's not playing the Champions League football? And Emile Smith Rowe injury update that has been making life hard for him 3 years back. I sign out for now. See you later, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. May the living God protect you abundantly through the night. My Muslim friends, may Allah protect you throughout the night. Good night.